there. You see lots of tarps. You see some of them look a little unshaved, unshowered. But also in the crowd, you see a lot of laptops and iPads. And a lot of people are wondering, is this movement being fueled by social media?
Oh, I think unquestionably it is being fueled by social media. But for more details of how they're doing it and why, Christopher Dessi joins us. He's the managing partner of Drive Action Digital. He's an expert on this kind of social media stuff. So, Chris, first of all, where are they plugging in their phones and their computers? I mean, how are they keeping charged up?
You know, they have generators, is the rumor, but really, you know, your phone is your computer, right? Everybody carries these little computers in their pockets, so you don't really need to worry about plugging in anywhere major.
But you got to charge it overnight.
You got to charge it. They have chargers in there. I'm sure that they are completely prepared. It's been fascinating, though. They're leveraging companies like Kickstarter to raise real money. They raised $54,000, I believe it is, to create the Occupy Wall Street Journal. So they're actually creating publications. There are about 200 or 900 and some odd meetups across the country. So they're really engaging communities by leveraging these social media tools.
How are they getting people to join their protests? Like what sites are they using to let people know where they're going and how they can get involved?
Usually the core for social movements like this tends to be Facebook and Twitter. They're leveraging the hashtag Occupy Wall Street so that if people are curious about learning about it on Twitter, they can search for Occupy Wall Street and they can see the conversations that are happening. They have about 180,000 followers on Facebook. So it's really powerful.
They've been very successful, I think, by whether they've accomplished anything or not. I mean, there are a couple hundred people in Zuccotti Park. They were talking about it during that debate last night.
Right.
I mean, those who would be president spent about 15 minutes weighing the merits of their argument. That's a huge success.
All boats rise and people are paying attention, and it's really fascinating. But there's also a contrarian point to this, where the economist Malcolm Gladwell talks about not giving social media too much credit for this type of activity, where he talks about the idea, so for example, they're live streaming information from these events. And
Malcolm Gladwell from The New Yorker.
Yeah, and they're talking about, they're live streaming content from these events, and they're saying, hey, we need support, we need people to come out with, you know, tents and supplies, and they're really talking about the fair weather supporter and the fair weather protester that might see something that's live streaming and getting that information might act against the movement, and they might say, oh, maybe I'm not really cut out for that, where previously it was, you know, faxes, flyers, and word of mouth that would get the real revolutionaries to attend.
There's got to be like a problem, though, with using social media, right? I mean, there's information I know that when we go online, we get wrong information, and you believe it.
Sometimes there is disinformation, but it does spread the word. I think it's really interesting because it's an accelerant, right? So this type of a protest would have happened anyway. It might just happen faster. It might be able to spread nationally a little bit easier. There's an author that talks about that idea. His name is Christopher Hein, about East and West Germany, and he talks about the real revolutionaries in East Germany were the ones that did not get television, but the ones that actually got television were a little bit more lackadaisical about communist uprise.
Exactly.
Right, so
I heard during the Arab Spring recently, they only started to have trouble, I'm talking about the Egyptian government, when they turned off social media.
Right.
Why? Because it affected people who weren't swept up, and now they're angry.
Right.
So, and that's not going to happen in this country. They're not going to shut down.
But
they're not going to shut down Twitter or Facebook to stop these protests. That's not going to happen. I think.
I hope not.
I don't think so.
I hope not. I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing.
Because I'll take to the streets if they do
The
that.
president of the United States was the one who put Twitter on the map, right, when he was running for president.
Exactly. Yep.
All right. Chris Dessi, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for
Always
having
very
me. I appreciate
informative.
Good stuff.
All right.